Jacqueline, we had a few people who went for a longer break, but they're coming back. But we have quorum, so we can start. Jacqueline, if you're ready and you can hear me, you can take it off from here. Sorry, we seem to be having a loss of sound. Just a moment, Jacqueline. Just a moment, Jacqueline. Okay, can you try again, Jacqueline?
1 2 1 2.
Yes, you're back.
Awesome. Okay, let's get my presentation up. Share my screen. There we go. Oops. Okay, right, this, for those who are, a little extra time I gave, thank you for your patience with the break. Now I'm going to just do a little bit of insights into tech packs. Some of you may be very familiar with this, and this is a presentation I do can be quite intensive, but I cut it down a bit to just make it to the point. And then we're going to look at some cost sheets in practice, and we're going to do like a group exercise straight after this. And this is where your samples are going to be used. So you see me looking down, just I've got my notes to make sure that I'm sticking to the points ahead. Okay, so diving into this, developing your product now. So basically a step-by-step guide. You may be very familiar. This is just like I said, a guide. It's not including all the complexities of stitch per minute and all these things that you may or may not be used to. Some people that goes way over their head, some it's new to them, or some it's quite familiar. But when you're given, when the person who's working with you should be giving you a sketch, and it should give detailed information on the garment. Things that should be included are aspects like fabric information, extra trims, colors, sizes maybe. So for a basic t-shirt, we would say something like, color black, 180 gram, or maybe it's a 160 if it's very lightweight, or maybe it's more like a fleece or something like that, and it's like a 300 or something like that. But for the t-shirt, you say if it's single cotton, or if it's a different fabrication, and that it's got shell or back neck binding kind of detail. And there's another one, this was for a hoodie, the one below, which was a very lighter weight hoodie, 280 grams, a 1x1 rib collar for jumper, sorry, not a hoodie. Here's an example that I've used in industry, just for a t-shirt. So this would be 2 separate pages, the front sketch, the back sketch. As you can see, you'd put the season, the fit, the size on that side. In this, I mean, these can look so many different ways, but this is just a good example of how it can look. The name of the brand or the company, and then the title, front or back sketch, or detailed sketch maybe, that will be on the top row. And then you see, like with the graphic print, it has a position from what's the HMP, the high neck point, the high shoulder point. You want to say how low down the graphic is going, or if it's a pocket, the position from the high neck point. The back neck tape details you can see there, chain stitch detail, the special stitching along the shoulder seam, the type of neckband rib, if it's 1x1 or 2x2, which is a type of quality of rib, and how deep it is. In this case, it says 2 centimeters, but I think it was actually less than that because it's quite deep. 1 centimeter or 1.5. And then you can go into the type of print. You'd have a separate art worksheet which talks about the prints, which has the sizing, all the colors as well, and the type of print quality it is. And the same details will go on the back, which is relevant. Any logo details, how far up from the cuff you want that positioned as well, would be on there. Okay. So I think developing, so that's really just about the product, and then developing, and further, you must have a measurement chart. One of the aspects I know that people internationally, designers are working with businesses in Africa, is that they don't, everything is made, it's done differently. I mean, you're African, you know, it's like it's done differently in Africa, especially in some areas where people are working with like the tailors. They won't be doing manufacturing on the levels that you would find in Asia. I know in Kenya there's a lot of larger scale factories and there's a different way of doing things. So these things are probably quite standard. Having measurement charts are going to be important, but showing the sizes, which could be relating to UK, Europe, or USA brands, so similar like a Zara, a Topshop, or one of these brands, to give people an idea that the M for menswear is relating to this retailer's M. So people get an idea that is based on that. I mean, yes, you might be thinking, how am I going to get those details? That's one thing you can say to your client, the designer who's reaching out to you, is, we have samples, you can make your samples to send to them, or that person can send you a sample of the Zara, of the whichever brand they want, Topshop, whichever one it may be. So you can actually adjust your measurement charts and then your patterns and so forth, your blocks, for them to fit the same fit that they want. Because some people may want it more oversized, like in the US. In Japan, they have a longer body, so that position on the back, center back length may be a bit longer because of their physical bodies. In Europe, maybe in some countries like in Germany or Austria, where they're a bit taller, or Swedish, they're a bit taller, so their standard lengths may need to be longer, even though the bodies may be, the cross bodies may be, or the waist may be, smaller. They're longer in length. So these things have to be understood when you're thinking about your customers. So we tend to have M for menswear as like a basic size, and you grade up or grade down, and small is for women as stand. If you have a specific t-shirt block, maybe that's something, maybe the customer has that, then you as the manufacturer can do that for them and give them a sample along with the measurement chart for the sample size, as mentioned earlier. Annually, grading should cover what we call a size bow. Now things are changing a bit with size. There's a lot to do with plus sizes as well. So go from small to maybe extra large. Women's in the UK, 8 to 16, which in the US is about a 4 to a 12. I got that right. But now the sizes are, you have bigger sizes of women. In size 20, 22, up to size 30 in the US. So the size bow is expanding now, and the offering that people may be asking you for